everybody. We're live on episode 20 of Just the Gi Top podcast. So today we've got Kit Dale on. We'll just quickly go through, introduce the panel as always. So we have Ahmed Chirani.
Hello.
We have Jordan Short.
Hey.
And we have Rami Chirani.
Hey. We also just want to quickly thank the sponsors for sponsoring us.
Solid. It's a good start.
Yeah. So we have Very Hard to Submit. They're a gi company. They've been making. I think they're on their third. Are they on their third yet, or they have their third version coming out soon?
Yeah.
You can check it out at veryhardtosubmit.com. And we also have Pahada Gear, who comes out with these really awesome shirts. Adam swears by them. He loves them. We all like them, but Adam in particular seems to really, really like them.
It's true, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, shout out to them. You can check them out at pahadagear.com. It's PORRADAGEAR.com.
Sweet. That's perfect.
All right. So as I said, today we have a huge honor. We have Kit Dale on. So if you've heard of jiu-jitsu or facial hair, then you're probably well familiar with Kit. Very seasoned veteran, 2013 Copa Podio participant, two-time World Pro BJJ champion, Asian Open champion, Bull Terrier Copa champion, two-time Silver World Pro Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian National champion, Pan American bronze, 14 Pan Pacific champion, 9 times an Australian national champion. So obviously, Kit, it's a huge honor to have you on. So first of all, thank you very much, and wondering if you can just start off by kind of telling us about how you found jiu-jitsu, kind of your jiu-jitsu story.
No worries. First of all, thanks for having me on. It's awesome to talk to you guys. I'm 27 years old now. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 22 years old. I started training. I had a cousin that me and him used to hang out a lot, and we're looking for a mixed martial arts academy just to help protect ourselves, because I was playing football at the time, and I was a late developed footballer. I was very small when I was about 20 years old. I looked more like 16. I used to get beaten up a lot, so I wanted to learn how to defend myself. So I started doing mixed martial arts at a school called RPI, which is it was under Robert Parmakovsky. And after about 2 weeks, we did one ground session of jiu-jitsu, and I fell in love with it. It just destroyed me, and I was like, man, this is awesome. So I looked for a new academy that was closer to where I was at the time, because I was working plus playing football full-time, Australian rules football. I didn't have a lot of time to work with, so I tried to find somewhere a little bit closer, and we found it was like a small school about the size of my bedroom under Nervignan, and I started doing jiu-jitsu in 2008. I spent about a year doing it while I was playing football and working. Then I had 6 months off because I had an injury playing football, and then I got back into jiu-jitsu. I think it was mid-2009, and then started competing, and really haven't looked back. I've just enjoyed it, and try to compete as much as I can, which is more and more now because of thanks to sponsors and stuff helping me get to new competitions. But it's been a sick journey since I found it.
So sorry, Kate, you started in 2008?
Yeah.
2008,
yeah,
and
2008.
So now in one of the interviews I read with you, you mentioned that your goal was to get your black belt in 3 years. I remember you said you wanted to do it in 3 years because BJ Penn did it in 3, and that's kind of a goal of yours. But you accomplished that feat in 4 years, right, or just over 4?
Yeah, just over 4 years. Yeah, I didn't know a lot about jiu-jitsu back then, so I wasn't sure who the good guys are just from what I read in magazines. But BJ Penn was more famous from the UFC, and I heard that he got his in 3 years. So I set a goal there, thinking that I wanted to get in 3 years. Obviously didn't achieve it, but close, which is about 4.5 years.
Jeez, man, that's crazy. That's we started. Well, I started myself 5 years ago, so. Yeah, you're much better than I am. But
astute observation on that.
Yeah, it just dawned on me now. But sorry, Kate,
I was lucky with jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu for me, if I'm trying to read something instructional, if I'm reading it, there's no way I'm going to get anything right. I'm not really good with reading and translating what's written into a physical activity. But when it comes to training, something physical, kinesthetic or visual, I find it really easy. So I was just lucky that jiu-jitsu's like an easy form of martial arts or anything for me to learn. So I was sort of lucky that way. Plus, like being like fairly athletic, from an athletic family helped a lot as well. But yeah, if you give me something else to do, if you try to like get me reading instructions or something, man, I'm gonna be like disgustingly bad.
So, like, because you did it in such a like short amount of time, I have to ask, like, what do you think? What do you think it is that let it, fuck, that made it so short? Like, how do you think that? Like, why do you think that happened? As opposed to like us, I've been training for about the same time, and I know I'm not as good as you. But
no, he
do you
knows
think
that.
it's just
Like, he knows that.
Yeah, I know that. But like, what do you think it was? Is it that you put in a lot of time? Is it just kind of your natural athleticism? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's a combination of things, and I've had like the same question, and I've tried to answer it as accurately as I can think. And I was just actually writing 10 tips of jiu-jitsu. I spent the last hour trying to write down some tips that helped me along the way. But like the first major one was I trained for about a year, and I was a lot bigger than most of my training partners. There were a lot of like there was blue belts, the highest level guy that was a brown belt that was coaching us, but he didn't roll a lot. And the other guys were blue belts, but they were probably 76-kilogram blue belts, and not super athletic. And I was about maybe like low 80s at the time, and I was playing football, so I started getting a lot stronger. So I spent like a year trying to compete against them in training, and like just trying to beat them, like physically and stuff, and thinking that was like jiu-jitsu. And then after a year, I kind of realized that if I'm going to train with guys that small, I'm going to need to become more technical. I'm going to need to like sort of swallow my pride and my ego and really give these guys a better chance against me in training, and try and like only recover. Like let's say I'm working guard, I'll try and use only enough strength just to sort of get to achieve my goals. So if I'm trying not to let him pass, or if I'm trying to sweep him, I'll only do that if I can do it as technical as possible. So if I'm doing something and I feel like I'm muscling it on, I used to stop doing it and let him beat me. So I would start getting beaten a lot more by guys that I would usually beat, but I become a lot more technical, and I become a lot more well-rounded because I would start playing with different stuff, and I'd work positions that weren't really, what I was told was bad positions, but I got good from bad spots. And then I started experimenting. I started trying to look at the concepts of things more so than techniques. And the reason being is, like, you can spend a lot of time learning one technique, which is good, and it's going to help you in that one situation. But as you know, in jiu-jitsu, you fight guys that are a lot bigger, a lot smaller, a lot fitter, a lot quicker, a lot slower, all different things. And you never really, like, you can do the same technique once, but it's never really the exact same way. It's always like a different variation. And I try to sort of like spend less time like perfecting one technique that's going to save me once, and I try to sort of work with concepts. So I would almost try and use problem solving in the moment to figure out like how to beat someone. And the first time I did that, I started using sweeps, and I was thinking, okay, so if I need to sweep someone, what are some of the concepts behind it? So I said, okay, I need to have some kind of leverage to push them over. I need to take away some of their posts so they would turn over, and I would, what was it? It was post, leverage. Jeez, I can't remember. It was so long ago now. But, yeah, and their posture, sorry. So that was how I started sweeping at first. I just knew those three things. So if I break down their posture, I take away a post, and I have some kind of leverage, I could usually turn them around. Obviously, there's a lot more, a lot more things that can change that, but basically that helped me a lot. So I started working with concepts, and then I started using like problem solving instead of actual like muscle memory of techniques. So I never drilled a lot when I started, but I definitely rolled a lot, and I definitely just try to create sweeps out of anything, which gave me a good confidence, and I would come up with a lot of weird shit, so it helped me a lot at the start.
How do you feel? Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I actually forgot what I was saying.
Good job, Jordan.
Sorry, guys.
No. What did you? I was trying to figure out where I was actually going with it. I couldn't remember the original question. I was going off a lot.
I'm curious, actually, though. Now that you mention it, you said you rolled a lot as opposed to drilling. Do you do much drilling now, or do you feel like you benefit more from rolling?
I only started drilling properly when I was a brown belt. When I first turned brown belt, I started training with some different guys. guys in Australia, a couple of guys that helped me a lot in techniques. So I started drilling for a good year, and I drilled a lot, which really helped because I didn't have like any fundamental, like my technique wasn't really good. I was sort of like, I was good if I was rolling. Like, say if I want to pass you when I was rolling, I was good. But if someone said, "Hey, Kit, can you demonstrate a technique for me?" I'm like, I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. I'm not like, and even now I'm not really good. I don't look really pretty when I'm actually demonstrating something, which I hate because it's you know, most of the time you're filming to try and demonstrate something or for your students. But when I was rolling, I could find the right timing and stuff, and I could figure it out. But I started drilling a lot, which helped a lot, helped me understand the fundamentals of it. So I spent a lot of time drilling for a year, but then I stopped drilling and I started working more on the timing of things. So once I understood like basically how to execute the technique, then I wanted to try and figure out when you use that technique, why you use that technique, and at what and figure out the timing of it. Because obviously you can, and I've seen guys that are really like, they've got beautiful technique and they can drill for days and they look unbelievable. But then you throw them a live opponent and they cannot get it because they don't understand when to use that technique, at what time to use that technique. So I think at a higher level, for me, it's been a lot more beneficial to understand the timing of it rather than the actual structure of it. Because if you get the timing right, and it's like in boxing, or let's say a street fight, you can close your eyes and throw a massive haymaker, and if that timing's right, you're going to end up knocking them out. Or you can throw the most technical punch you've ever seen too quick or too slow, and you're going to miss it. So I try and get it as technical as I can, but also really get that timing right. So when I go to execute it, even if it looks sloppy, it's still going to work.
So timing is like a #1 priority for you, really, then.
Timing?
Yeah. You were saying like that's pretty much a high priority for you then. Over, yeah, okay. Oh, cool.
So then, what do you do to train that? Is that through like through live rolling that you work that timing, or is it like situational drilling, those sorts of things, or?
Two things, situational drilling and live rolling, if you can control the elements. But a lot of the time I'll get maybe I've got a really good blue belt, and I'll get him and I'll start in a position. And let's say I start in spider guard and I want to pass from there. And what I do is I try and I move left, I move right, forward, back, and I try and figure out what he's most likely to do. So where he moves his hands. So if I move, let's say if I step forward or he brings my weight forward, a lot of the time they bring your weight forward, they try and catch your leg and kick you backwards. And I try and figure out like that timing. When's he going to try and grab my leg? So when he pulls me forward, I can step forward and then move my leg back as he tries to grab it. So I start figuring out the timing like that as an example. Or when I go for a leg drag, you know, at what time do they switch their legs back so I can try and counter it at the appropriate time like that. Or I watch a lot of jiu-jitsu. So like I watch Rodolfo Vieira, Leandro Lowe. I like their passing styles, so I try and watch them and try and figure out, you know, when they do it, like the exact timing for it, because obviously they're the best at it. So I just try and imitate what they're doing pretty much.
Speaking of timing and imitating some passes and whatnot, obviously one topic that always comes up for you in your interviews is your match with Keenan. And I mean, I just watched that match a couple times today as well. And one thing that I noticed when you were on top, you had like a vicious pace going, you know, like trying to smash left, smash right, smash again, like you're just nonstop on and on. You did that almost for the whole round. I mean, he swept you swept him within 30 seconds back, and you just kept going and going. What kind of conditioning do you do for that? Because like earlier you're talking about like I believe you don't have that many high-level guys at your school right now, correct?
Correct.
So
no, I've got good lower belts and stuff. Actually, in the last 6 months, it's improved a lot. Like a lot of my guys have really improved, which helps a lot. But yeah, I'm really training with blues and purples most of the time. At
right,
high
so
school, the purples, you know what I mean.
So how do you train like for somebody high level such as Keenan or whoever that you might face in the future with such a, I mean, this is a common question. I know Saul Ribeiro's done it before and all those guys, but like but what do you do to make it difficult? How do you make it beneficial for you? Like they're obviously not really gonna push you. You mentioned that if you find yourself using too much strength, you kind of concede, but which is all cool. But like I guess how do you prepare? How do you prepare with the low talent that you may have? around you.
Well,
If that was badly
it's
worded, I'm sorry.
That was terribly worded.
I'm sorry.
I know the clip. It's difficult. It's difficult on like the technique itself. Because I have trained with good guys preparing for a comp, and I've trained with my students, and they've both got their positive and negatives. The positive thing about training my own students is I don't get my body doesn't get worn out too much. If you're training with like top level black belts, like one after the other, twice a day, you're really gonna your body's really it's gonna take a toll on your body. You know, you're gonna get beaten up and be sore. So that's like a negative for it. But you got really good guys, so you get confidence with the timing. With my students, my body doesn't get beaten up, but I try and develop the right timing. So if I'm trying to make it hard on myself, like let's say I'm preparing for Keenan, I'll get one of my guys, and what I'll try and do is I'll try and roll as relaxed as possible with them. So I'll roll like I'm normally rolling, but everything's really relaxed. I'll try and slow things down on purpose to make it harder for myself. But that's sort of what I have to deal with. Try and be like as relaxed, try and act as if I'm as weak as possible, and do things as slow as possible. Because if you can do something slow and technically, and you break it down like step by step, you can usually translate fairly well to doing it fast, as long as you can move fast. But if you try and jump past everything and you're always training really fast, then you're probably going to miss the small like details in that technique and the step by steps. So I try and just slow everything down and train with them there. The biggest problem is confidence. When you go into a comp and like I don't like a lot of my comps where I fight these top guys, I struggle with the mental aspect of it more than anything, because I don't have these guys to train with all the time. You know, these guys train with guys like them all the time, so they know what to expect. They feel confident. They know their techniques work on guys as good as them. For me, it's kind of like I go in there and I'm like, you know, I'm sort of just, it's difficult because I'm not really confident with what I'm doing a lot of the time. I go in there and I'm sort of like, you know, I'm fighting Keenan Cornelius, and I'm like, man, the last, 2 weeks I've been training with blue belts. How am I going to go to train with this, one of the best guys in the world? And it's difficult. I got to try and sort of gain confidence in the match. And even with his match, I kind of did enough to not really get beaten bad, but I didn't really commit to the passes because I was kind of like, didn't have 100% belief in it. So as much as it looked like I'm going left and right and trying to find the timing, I kind of really didn't believe in myself at the same time. And I've had a few matches like that, and it's just unfortunate because of the situation I'm in. But also, after a few more comps as black belt, I'll gain that confidence. So that'll slowly sort of dwell off in the background. But that's one of the harder things I've got to deal with, is trying to figure out where to get the confidence from to fight these guys when you are training with blue belts.
It must help too in a comp or in a match like that where you're against Keenan, when you hit that sweep beautifully. That must really boost your confidence within the match. Yeah,
that did. I was kind of worried about his passing because I've seen him Toriander over a lot of people. But also I kind of looked at a lot of people in the same situation. A lot of people they don't really compete very well against him because of the hype around him and who he is. So a lot of people they doubt what they do a lot more than what they should. So I figured that as long as I controlled his sleeves and stuff, it's going to be really hard for him to do the passes that he likes doing, because he sort of likes to step right over his opponents and Toriander and stuff. So when he did sweep me, I remember when he swept me because my pants were coming down. So I was sitting off trying to defend the inverted De La Riva, which I usually feel very comfortable with. But he had a grip on my pants, but also my underwear. So my pants were too low. I had that split second. I was like, no way. I'm the worst for photographers. I get the worst photos taken. Vision of everything coming off, my pants coming down.
You were in a guy's crotch in one that I saw. I think you posted it, where your face is right in his crotch.
I have nightmares about that shit. That was Felipe Pena. He's unbelievable, that guy. But yeah, that was a really bad time photo. So I was sort of sitting there and I'm thinking my pants are starting to come down, and he's still pulling on them. And I'm thinking either he wants to see the snake or whatnot, but the last thing is I wanted my photo in the National Geographic for the Anaconda channel or something. I sat my butt on the ground, thinking like the ref's going, okay, stop. And then he come up, and I was like, fuck. And they say restarted in the center, and I quickly tied my pants up. And then I was pretty angry at that time, so I was like, no, I want to sweep real quick. So I just went in.
So that's why it took you so long to do up your pants and your belt. Like you were doing the Leandro Lo theatrical. You know, you've seen him when he ties his belt. It's like a 1 minute affair. I thought you were just doing that to get your breath back or something. But
I was trying to double
get everything back in place.
Yeah. no, but like just quickly about Leandro Lo. Like you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like watch him tie a belt. It's painful. Like he
does it at every opportunity he gets.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If the ref stops it, he'll undo the belt, get down to his knees, start doing the belt, stand up, doing it. The ref finally just throws the penalty, but he's like a master at that. That's a good tactic. Like it.
Low belt tie.
So
now I was trying to keep my stuff in there. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, what's the jiu-jitsu scene in Australia like? I know you said you mostly train with kind of mid-level guys, but is there a lot of high-level guys there that are actively competing, or is it just kind of in its earlier stages right now?
It's definitely in its earlier stages. The high-level guys, generally guys that have moved over from Brazil. And the thing is, they teach at a club they get paid to teach at. And a lot of the time, they're not too interested in cross-training. So there is a few really good guys here, but getting to train with them is really nearly impossible. Either they're in different states, or they've got their own academy and they're there for teaching and making money, and they're not too interested in helping anyone else, train and stuff like that at this level. There is a few that I train with, which is really good, but the level still here it's getting better. It's getting a lot better, but we're still very far behind, and because it's such a small sort of like community, and we don't not a lot of other people sort of come into Australia. Everyone that's sort of like at a good level here is starting to make an academy, and they're really sort of like, I want to make my money, make my academy, keep my students, and that's about it. Where it'd be really good if we could all work together and help each other a lot more, so more of us could compete internationally. But it's something we're trying to work on at the moment and trying to get happening. I'm really here at the moment, I'm really trying to set up something for young jiu-jitsu guys in Australia that really want to compete and really want to compete internationally and do well, trying to get an environment where they can develop, because at the moment it's really difficult because the money in jiu-jitsu is so low, and imagine the money in Australia. So for guys wanting to compete against guys who compete professionally, it's really difficult because things here are really expensive. So I'm trying my butt off at the moment, talking to a few people to set something up, but hopefully I can have that done by next year, where guys in Australia, if they really want to make it, they have an opportunity to come train with other guys like-minded, with facilities and stuff that can help them access that kind of stuff, really help them out. But that's something that's in motion at the moment, but it may take a little bit of time.
That's amazing. I mean, I have a counter question to that, not counter question, but another question following up on that, which now I think might be totally opposite what you're trying to set up here. But I was going to ask you, have you ever considered moving out of Australia to maybe further your opportunity in jiu-jitsu? Like, I know you just said you want to help set up children, and I feel horrible for asking this question after that. But I've always wondered, a lot of guys, in Brazil, they move up to Los Angeles, California, or San Diego, wherever it may be. Have you considered that out of the question?
Yeah, no, I haven't considered that, and that would be the other hand of what I'm trying to set up. If I feel like I can't set up something here that's going to help myself plus other students, then that'll be the next option, is moving over there. It's a difficult situation trying to get into America, obviously, and I haven't had enough success in jiu-jitsu yet to be able to validate that for green card, all that kind of shit. But yeah, that's a definite option that I will have a look at. But I've just got to make sure that it's financially available for me, because obviously I can't just go there and train full time. I need to try and make some money while doing it. Right. But yeah, if I can find something that could facilitate that, then it would definitely be a top option for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
So do you guys want to give me some money?
Yeah. Ahmed spends all the podcast money he went on. we went on a trip to Europe. He extorted all of our money.
We just for the record here, we make zero money. Yeah, like
so if anybody wants to send us money,
yeah, like we need money.
And then we'll send that off to Kit Dale.
yeah, we'll just for a small processing fee,
Yeah.
we will send money to Kit Dale.
Well, hey,
And,
so you know what?
everybody wins.
No, but speaking of money, Kit, just really quick. Again, like maybe if it's personal, tell me to back off, no big deal. But when you fly out to all these tournaments, like for example, when you went to the Mundials, when you went to Europeans, and you did No Gi Worlds as well. That's the one with your face in the crotch, I believe. So when you do all this and all these, I did my homework, man. And so when you're off flying off all over the place like that, and you know there's hotels, and I know you said sponsors help you, but does any of that ever come out of your own pocket? Is it pure sponsorship money? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it get tight sometimes financially to do that?
Yeah, no, a lot of it's sponsors, but also a lot of it's my money. I get looked after very well where I teach at the moment, so that helps a lot. But plus, I've got some good sponsors on board, which help a lot. A new sponsor, a new gi company, MA1, which has helped me a lot. So they get me. I roughly get about 3 international trips a year, plus interstate trips and stuff like that. They look after me very well.
Nice.
Plus, I spend a lot of my own money, because if I can do it without asking sponsors, I prefer to do that. It's a lot easier. And you know, I sell my body on the street sometimes.
Well, I did read today that apparently Kit Dale has kissed 10,000 women, so I guess that that answers
huge,
that.
Man. That's awesome.
At least.
Kit, do you have like many bunnies like when you're at competing?
Many.
Serious question. Serious, like mat bunnies. Like serious question.
Mat bunnies? I haven't heard that. What's that?
So it's like, I think what Ahmed is saying.
They're loose women that hang out at the tournament.
Yeah, but, no, seriously. Like I see it all the time. Not for me, but I see it when I'm there.
Not enough. Maybe when jiu-jitsu gets bigger in Australia, we'll get that. But yeah.
But sort of on that note, Kit, because I mean you're not directly on that note. Like I'm gonna take a slightly different angle from Ahmed here and not ask about loose women in jiu-jitsu tournaments. But, just in terms of like kind of your internet fame, right? Like I think the first time I had heard about you was I haven't been training that long. First time I heard about you was either last summer or the summer before that, when you had that Bane picture, right? When you were a brown belt. And, is that kind of what changed things for you? Because, I mean, as far as, the jiu-jitsu community goes, you're probably one of the most well-known people right now, with your online presence. So has that changed things for you, since you've become very well-known online, or?
Yeah, it's made things a lot easier because, being jiu-jitsu, good at jiu-jitsu is one thing, but I try and sort of like leave myself out there. I try and let everyone know who I am, what I'm about. Obviously, like I don't take myself too seriously. I like to have fun and enjoy life, and that's like the main thing for me. And I want people to know that, and I want people to feel like they know who I am. A lot of people are fairly mysterious. They sort of keep themselves and stuff. I don't really want to create that. And I also want to appeal to a larger audience. Like the jiu-jitsu community is like it's great, but it's still very small compared to a lot of the other things at the moment. So I like acting. I like doing that kind of stuff, having fun, doing that shit. So I try to appeal to a larger audience with that, and it helps a lot with sponsorship and with exposure as well. If you can, be a likable person as well as a good jiu-jitsu guy. So I try and give as much like information as I can in terms of like serious jiu-jitsu, plus being try and have fun with it as well. So I try and find a good combination of that. But it's a situation I'm constantly evaluating. Whether I go certain ways with things that helps and stuff. But long term, I really do want to get into acting and stuff like that and do more of that kind of stuff. But I'm just trying to sort of balance it all out at the moment.
Awesome. Like some of the stuff that you post on Vine and Instagram, and like some of those videos, like they're hilarious. Like, do you write all that, or do you kind of is that just all off the top of your head kind of stuff?
A lot of that stuff's off the top of my head. I mean, they're usually 7-second Vines and 15-second Instagrams. They're fairly simple to come up with. Most of that stuff is like I'll walk past something, I'll see something, and I'll be like, hey, man, I could do something funny with that. So a lot of like in-the-moment inspiration. The more detailed stuff is a little bit more difficult, a little bit more tricky, and I have my brother to help me out with that. So I can come up with funny ideas and like funny movies and stuff to do, but I don't know how to structure them properly. So what seems funny in my head may not be funny after you've filmed it and stuff like that, or try to structure it. So just on the weekend we filmed 3 movies. We did 3 movies. Probably one will go for about 3 minutes, the other for about 5. No, probably the other for about 10, and the other about 15 minutes. So it was a lot of fun shooting it. We had a few people and we did a lot of funny stuff. But whether that translates across to other people watching it, I don't know. But I'm telling you, like the takes that we watched, I was cracking myself laughing. I thought it was really funny. But basically, it was like 3 different ones. One's like, hold on a second, I gotta put this. Crap, I gotta put my laptop on charge. Hold on, I'll move you while I'm talking.
Oh, no problem.
One's about an interrogation scene, but it's to do with jiu-jitsu, and it's to do with creances. Sorry.
I feel like I'm in one of your movies now. Like I don't know.
This could be. I didn't realize my phone, the laptop was going flat. So one was about like when we're interrogating this guy, and it starts off really serious, and then we're basically interrogating because he left our jiu-jitsu club and he's gone somewhere else. But I won't explain the rest of it because we haven't filmed the rest of it anyway. But we're sort of going with it as it goes. The other one was about me and my brother, and it's kind of like us talking about our next video, and then we come up with an idea. But I don't want to explain what it is because it'll give away the whole thing. But it's super awkward and really gets weird. So
is it as awkward as the one where you're looking at a guy and he deep throats a dinner bun? Like
that's my brother.
Was that your brother?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Like he took the whole thing.
No, we stepped it up. Yeah, that's amateur shit to this other one. This one's disgusting. But I'll let you guys decide. And the third one was about, you ever see those shows like Ghost Hunters and stuff like that? Like paranormal investigators?
Yeah.
Well, we do like a skit where some guy's house has been haunted, and we go in there. I'm like the Catholic priest. We've got another guy that's like a celebrity psychic. Another guy's like a Chinese witch doctor. And there's a skeptic, and we go into this house, and we're all like all the characters are sort of clashing and working together, and we basically just go through this house and we give our like different thoughts on what's going on there. It plays in with a little bit of a twist, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. I thought it was the funniest shit I've ever filmed because just being in there and trying to do it like with some of the scenes was so funny, and like we took like 20 cuts sometimes because we couldn't stop laughing. But hopefully it ends up alright once we edit it.
Well, where can people see these when they are up? Just your YouTube page?
I've got a YouTube channel. I think it's Kit Warchild Dale still. But if you type in my email, or if you go on my Facebook, I'll post it on there as well, Kit Dale. I do have a Kit Dale BJJ page, but I barely ever use it. I sort of created that because I thought that's what everyone was supposed to do. But I started getting a lot more followers on my normal one, so I've continued to use my normal one for like pretty much everything, and my fan page for just some jiu-jitsu stuff. So I'm trying to sort of relocate anyone on my fan page to my normal page so I can delete that eventually.
That's
or my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's the kid-dale.com, right? That's what you're talking about, the old one?
No, that's my website that I never use.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I developed that website, and I forgot the password, so I just stopped using it.
Yeah, it's really out of date. Really out of date.
Yeah. But I got my new company's organised a brand new website, so it'll actually go across onto that. It'll be Kit Dale. It'll be, I'll find my t-shirt. KitDaleBJJ.com will be my new one. So that'll have be straight up to date with all new everything, and that's being developed. It should be up in about a week or two. So yeah, the other one will cease to exist. I've had that for like 2 years. I haven't touched it, I think.
Okay, no. So just speaking on the Creonch thing, because you said you had a little skit on that. I just want to get like just a little more of your thoughts on that, because like I know you had a video. Sorry, you had a status the other day about your mom switching mechanics, and you know how, and you made it sound absolutely ridiculous. Which I mean, in a way, it does sound ridiculous when you think about it. But can you explain a little bit more about that? Like, did you get any negative feedback when you did eventually switch? Because you were, sorry, who were you with before you switched over to Checkmat? I'm really sorry.
I was with Peter DeBean, and he's a guy in Australia that runs an academy, and he's also the president of the AFBJJ, so the Australian Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. And he's a good friend of mine, and like I trained there for I think a good 2.5, 3 years. But we didn't see eye to eye on a few things, and it was getting better that I took off and did my own thing. And at that time, Yuri Simões was moving to Australia to teach, and I got in touch with him, and I wanted to join, you know, a good team, especially someone I could train with internationally. And so when he came down, I started training with him, and I worked, like, you know, he taught me a lot, and I learned a lot off him, and it was really good, and it got me started. Then he decided not to stay and to take off and to train, you know, around the world a bit more and compete. So I stayed and taught, you know, as Checkmat. So that was why I left him. But yeah, we didn't see eye to eye on a few things. It was just getting better that, you know, I wasn't around. I'm very honest with, like, you know, what I see. If I see something, I try and call it. And you know, I can't sit in somewhere, like stay somewhere, if I don't feel really comfortable, if I don't feel it's working out for me. I will easily take off. But you know, jiu-jitsu, if I'm there, I'm paying someone to learn off them, and if I feel like uncomfortable in that situation, or I feel like I can get better, you know, somewhere else, then I will go and do it. I want to, you know, I want to get the best teaching I can, and regardless of where it is. And I think that, you know, people should have that attitude more. I do, like, it's not like I disagree with loyalty. I like loyalty and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't think loyalty is what people sort of say loyalty is. I don't think because someone's learning off me and goes to learn off someone else that he's being disloyal to me. I don't take it personally. I just, you know, I take it positively. I think it's good that he's, you know, that he's got the balls to go up and to train somewhere else and to leave, and even though he knows he's going to get negative feedback from it and he's going to make a few enemies, but he's still, like, he wants to learn the best. You know, I have nothing wrong with that. Any of my students want to take off and go somewhere else, I think it's better. I'd rather have someone take off and go somewhere else than stay and be miserable.
Yeah, we've talked about this, you know, the four of us a bunch of times before too. Like, and I don't understand. Like, I don't get why somebody would stay somewhere where you're paying somebody money and you feel like you're not getting the training that you need, or that it's just not a good fit for you. I don't get why people stay in those situations, so I totally agree with you on that for sure.
It's like staying in a relationship when you're not happy. You know, why would you do that?
I think some of the reasons some people stick around, though, is because maybe they've just established a lot of good friendships and relationships there or whatever. You know, like jiu-jitsu is very social, you know, not for the non-elite guy. But, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, that's...
I've got nothing. Yeah, I've got nothing against that. If they want to stay because they enjoy that, and then there's no point. There's no, like, they shouldn't want to leave if they enjoy it. And you know, if your jiu-jitsu is more of a social life sort of thing, and you know you've got your friends and stuff, then it's good. But if they're true friends, they're not going to hate you because you left. If they're real friends, they're still going to be friends with you even if you do leave. You know what I mean? Because you're just going somewhere else for training. And I played, like, Australian rules football, and we had so many guys come from different clubs and used to get paid a lot to play that. So you would go to this club, and if they come to playing with you, then, you know, it's cool. If they go somewhere else, it's cool. I'm not going to hate on someone because they decide to do that. And I think if you did, then they're not a real true friend either way.
So I guess what we're saying, Rami, is we forgive you.
Rami didn't just leave the school; he left the country. so if you don't
basically betrayed our country.
So
I didn't even know him then, and I'm still mad at him.
That's some sick shit.
Yeah. So he essentially leaves, like, you know, we're in the Toronto region there, and he goes all the way down to San Francisco to train at Half Gracie's with Gradosiander, and, like, just left us high and dry, man. Like,
They've been calling me a
He's a
He left his own
crayon.
brother. He
That just
betrayed his
sickens
own
me.
family.
That makes me sick, you know that? Real piece of work.
You can leave schools, Rami. You just can't leave area code.
But no, seriously, like especially leaving schools and stuff. Like I know, like in other schools, it's like you're a straight traitor if you do that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm not Brazilian or whatever. But I just don't. I don't get it. If I want to leave a place, man, I just leave. It's like if I'm at a Good Life gym or whatever franchise gym you have in Australia there. But we like whatever. If you're at a gym and you don't like it and I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. And
Ahmed will leave to go to a different Good Life.
Yeah, it
gym.
doesn't make sense. I think it's something that's slowly going to water its way out of it, and I think eventually it's going to become very acceptable to leave different places. Obviously, like if you're at a certain place, like let's say you go to, I'm just going to go off the top of my head, like Cabrinha's gym, okay? And Cabrinha's got a lot of small guys there, and got a lot of really good guard players. And it should be acceptable for you to go train there. You're paying them to learn a certain skill set. And then once you feel like you've got enough of that and you want to learn something else, let's say you want to go down to Galvo's and get his like top game, and you pay him to learn that off, you're really, as much as you're representing a team, you're really representing yourself. Because, your whole team's not out there when you're competing for yourself. And then you chuck a team on and the team points and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. But like, there should really be nothing wrong with that. It's just like going to a different university and learning something, and then going to a different university and learn something else. You want to try and develop a good skill set, yet you're labelled a traitor and a crayon if you do that. I don't know. It doesn't make too much sense to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We're going to jump to a couple of questions that we had for you there, Kit, and if you can answer them, that'd be cool. One from Reddit. Actually, that's how I got to figure you out, was from Reddit there, and that's where everyone's posting all your vines. But so anyway, the person asks.
I need to work out how to use Reddit. I've not even got an account.
Oh,
with Reddit.
dude, Reddit is the best. It's like the best thing to go to. Okay.
But when you first go to Reddit, it looks like nothing.
No, but it's huge. Like the vast subreddits on there is insane. Like, so you go to reddit.com and everything is forward. It has a /r/BJJ, for example. And that's a BJJ subreddit, and that's a lot of guys come on there, a lot of questions and stuff. You might like that.
Man, I got to.
Yeah, like if you go to that, but then there's like other crazy subreddits that you can go to. That are like,
just don't though.
Don't believe anything that Ahmed tells you.
Yeah. Basically, if Ahmed ever sends you a link, just do not under any circumstances open it.
No. There's some whack.
Ahmed is a depraved human being.
No. It's not as bad as these guys make it seem out to be there. But seriously.
I need to know, what have you been searching up?
No. All right, so Kit, so what I sent you is the link of reddit.com BJJ. That's how it works. And if you replace BJJ with like WTF, for example, it just shows you a whole bunch of WTF stuff, like crazy stuff. But if you want to see like crazier stuff, it's like NSFW. It's so.
Ahmed's got like.
I think we had a question from Reddit.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I'm just on there all the time. So,
Ahmed's got like Reddit creep. He's like he needs more and more sick stuff just to get him through his day.
Okay, whatever you think you've seen, you haven't seen shit until you go on Reddit. Like
Ahmed's like, I've seen things.
Yeah, man, that's why. Anyway, the question was, we have somebody who's from New Zealand and is wondering if you are doing a seminar anytime in New Zealand. So that's the question.
Yeah, I haven't organised one. It's definitely in the cards. I want to try and organise a trip to do some seminars. I'm hoping that like mid next year I can organise something like that, go down to New Zealand, go to a few other places. I really want to go to Mexico, Canada, and Europe to do some stuff, whether it's seminars or just training trips over there. So I'm hoping to win some big competitions early next year, and then I can relax a little bit and start, do a few seminars and do some training trips would be good. But at the moment I haven't organised anything, but there is some things in the works.
Okay, awesome. It's just another one. Sorry, so that was from Reddit user Jumbo Humbo. Okay, so thank you there. I don't have to read the name out. I don't know. I don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but we'll pretend it was a girl. But anyway, so the next one is, oh, sorry, you know what? This was you already answered this about possibly moving, and you touched on that. Sorry. Another one just from the Facebook page, guys, we have is if you'd like to have a super fight with a particular black belt, who would it be? What is the format that you prefer? So would it be IBJJF point style or no time limit submission style, etc.? Is anyone there?
I'll probably go. I like the points. I'd probably go naked jelly wrestling with. I'm serious. Nah.
We were just waiting to hear what flavor of jelly. That's all.
Definitely. I don't know what that green shit is. Lime. It's an interesting question. I haven't really thought about that too much. I would definitely like to have another match with Sebastian Broche. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's such a cool dude, and he's got some awesome jiu-jitsu. And it'd be wicked to have another match with him because I know it'd be just a good match. Our last one wasn't very good though, but that's another story. But yeah, he'd be someone I'd like to compete with. One, because then I get to see him hang out with him afterwards, and two, because it'd just be a good fight for the viewers.
What venue would you prefer to do that in? I'm just curious. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it like? I guess the question is like, would it be like in a cage or something, or would it be like on a ring or? Yeah, just do you know what I mean? Like.
On an airport runway? Maybe.
No. What I was getting at is that you see some venues, so you see some events happening, like let's say like in a ring or in a cage or whatever, like, or for example, 4 mats all dedicated to just to one person. Like, do you like that as well? Do you know what I mean?
Good. That's a good question on that.
It is.
I really like the Copa Podio setup was really cool. Like I liked how they set that up. Plus, it's a round robin format. It's cool. I like that better than the elimination because elimination comes down a lot of luck of the draw. Like you can get the 2 best guys come up first against each other, and you make one mistake and you're out of the whole competition. Sorry, a little bit. I like round robin format better because you can play it a bit more. You can take a few more risks because even if you lose the first one, you can come back and you can put more exciting fights. And yeah, that was really cool the way they set that up. I like those kind of tournaments better than like the Pan Ams or something like that.
We never really talked much about the Copa Podio there, and again, I know you get asked a lot, so I was trying to stay away from it, but you kind of brought it up. How was the general experience for you on that? Like, how did you? How did they treat you there? How was the vibe like? Was everyone friendly, the competitors you're with, etc.?
Yeah, no, everyone was really cool. Alexander Sacconi was like awesome. He, I had dinner with him. He's a really cool, nice guy, and like he helped me out a lot of the comp. He even organised like taxi and stuff for me because after the competition, I had to leave. I literally had to be on a flight 3 hours after I finished my last fight. So I had to like quickly go down to the airport and check in and stuff, which was a really bad idea because my back was all twisted, so that sucked. But he was like super nice. Everyone was really cool there, and they treated me really well where I stayed, so it was good. It was a really good experience. I was like super nervous at the start, but once we all went out there together and we had to hold the flags and stuff like that, I got a lot more relaxed because it just felt like a lot more fun after that. Like I thought, man, this is gonna be really cool. After my first fight with Diego Moreno, I was kind of frustrated because I just felt like it was really hard for me to get the points, and like I did a few things that I thought I sort of deserved the points for and expected, and I stopped and backed off, and then I realized like I didn't get any points, so I was getting sort of frustrated, and then I made a really bad mistake with like 30 seconds to go where I was 2 advantages up, and I thought, okay, I might as well just pull guard and just slow things down and just hold guard for the last 30 seconds and win. And I pulled like a really terrible guard, and he just got like a knee cut position straight away. And then I'm looking at the clock, like 25 seconds left, and I'm just holding on, and I'm thinking, I'll be able to hold on, it'll be right, I'll just hold on. And I probably could, I actually could have held on, but then I got to like 4 seconds left, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to kick out and explode, and then just make a scramble and win. And I went to kick out, and I just got pinned, and the ref gave points really quick, and I was like, oh man. And it was a real bummer that I lost like that. I was bummed out because I didn't get any of the points I thought I deserved. And then I was also bummed out that I made a really bad mistake and lost the match. But he's awesome. He's really good as well. It was a really tough fight, and I was very tired. That was my first fight, and I had like a massive adrenaline dump, and I was super tired. And I remember going in the back, and I just remember thinking to myself, man, I don't even want to fight anymore. I'm done. Like, I'm so sore and tired, and like really in a bad state of mind. And I was just thinking of things like, and this is honest. I was like, man, I'm just going to say that my back's sore. I'm not competing. I've given up, almost mentally given up. And then I had to sort of overcome that, so I had to sort of change like the way I was thinking and put myself in a more positive mindset. And I just started thinking, more of the viewers. I started thinking, you know what, fuck it. I don't care if I win or whatnot. I just want to put on a good fight. I want to I want the viewers that pay for this kind of thing, which they it sucked anyway because the stream was real bad. But I thought, man, they deserve it. People that are paying this to see good fights. So. And then I changed my mindset, and then I felt really good. Like, I felt really confident and just happy, and I just enjoyed it. And then I had a really good fight with Ciccone, where I won 2-0. And then the third fight, I lost to Felipe Pena 2-0. But, man, he's really good. That fight really didn't justify how much he beat me up. And then I had a good fight with Davi Ramos at the end. A couple decisions didn't go my way, a couple went my way, so it was pretty good. But it was just a really good experience for me. As I think it was my second or third comp as black belt against guys like that and in that kind of format. And I had a lot of fun, and I would do it, in a heartbeat if I got invited back again.
Yeah, that was actually my second question. Is that had they already contacted you saying, hey, look, you're guaranteed in, but I guess not then.
No, I haven't had a contact yet, but there hasn't really been a competition that they've set up that I would, because the next one's super heavyweight, and I was actually really small for the middleweight Grand Prix, because everyone was cutting weight from 92 kilos down 86, and I was weighing in normally 84 on the day. So that was another thing I'm changing now, is I'm actually going down a division because I'm sick of being so short and fighting these 6'3" dudes and stuff like that are bigger than me cutting weight. And I just start cutting weight and go to the middle division.
Have you ever been cutting weight? Have you ever cut weight for a competition before?
Yeah, I did middleweight one time. In the Pan Ams 2012, I did middleweight when I just got my brown belt. And I felt pretty good. I felt strong for middleweight. I lost to Cardosa. He got me in the footlock in the semi-final, but I felt actually really good at that weight. I just got to eat healthier, and I'm just terrible with what I eat. I take my training really. I try and train really smart, and I try and train really well, but I try and enjoy myself as well. I don't like missing out on eating good food. I don't like, feeling starving and limiting my body of water and food. I like to eat, and I eat a lot of shit, but I do enjoy it. But I'm going to actually try and take that a bit more professionally, because I'm sick of fighting dudes that are so much bigger than me. And, I want to go down a division. Even the guys in middleweight usually a lot taller than me, but at least they're not going to be as heavier than me and stuff. So
you might have to shave the beard. That thing looks like it's weighing in at a few pounds.
I'm smuggling shit in here too. I think there's a couple of girls in here. It's getting pretty big, actually.
Hold on, is that a serious question? Oh, sorry, no, I'm not gonna ask that one. Sorry. Sometimes we get a lot of trolls.
There was a funny one here on YouTube that I'll ask while Ahmed's trying to figure out what's real and what's not. At Aussie tournaments, instead of acai bowls, do they serve Vegemite bowls?
It's disgusting. Vegemite is gross.
I actually googled
it.
I
do.
Yeah, it is disgusting. It was supposed to be.
What is one of those things that tastes like absolute shit, but if you put it with the right thing, it's not too bad. It's just like a spread they use on like on sandwiches and stuff like that, but I don't know how they convince people to actually like that shit. It's disgusting.
It's
Yeah,
like a yeast
no, they don't. They don't have
sandwich.
that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeast
I haven't had
sandwich.
it.
It's like it's malted something or other.
It's halal
Yeah,
though. I
the
know
comps
that.
are actually like the comps are so small in Australia at the moment. They don't even have any food or anything like that there. They like it'll be like at a place where they've got their own canteen, like in another area, but they don't actually have stands there yet and stuff. So hopefully it builds up a little bit, and we can start getting some acai and shit in there because it makes shit a lot better.
Do you find just a little bit on, because it's actually there was a serious part of that question too. Do you find, like, because the competition scene is small, that you're competing against the same guys fairly often? Like, I know there's one guy in Australia that I know, Shane Poppleton, that had mentioned he had competed against you a number of times. So is it kind of the same faces at most tournaments?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I've competed against Shane a couple of times, but I've competed against other guys a lot more. So I think I got one guy where I've fought him like 9 times or something in the last like 2 years. Yeah, it's the same guys. You generally can pick who's going to sort of make the finals and stuff like that. There's a couple new guys that have moved down, like a couple of Brazilians that are really good, which is making things a lot better for the black belt divisions. But still, I mean, like, the Melbourne Open is this weekend, and I'm not even entering because there's no one even in my weight division. I had a look, and there's, like, no one, and no one's entered. There's 2 guys that entered, like, middle heavy, but they've both gone Masters. Yeah, I find like guys in Australia not really wanting, especially the black belt, don't really want to compete as much. You can take it either way you want to, whether they're not competing because they don't want to lose, or whether they're not competing because they don't want to compete anymore. I'm not sure, but definitely, like, as black belt, there's not as many competitors anymore, especially in like last year, because I think a lot of young black belts have come up and really sort of worked hard, and a lot of the other guys that were sort of around don't really want to compete anymore. But it sort of sucks. So you've got the same sort of guys that keep going in over and over again. But hopefully it changes. Hopefully it grows a bit more. If it doesn't, it's going to really stagnate, because I know they've got the Melbourne Open has come here, and they've got like something like 300 competitors, that's all, which sucks. That should have really been supported really well and heavily so we get more of those comps. But for some reason, I'm not sure whether it's the prices or whatnot or the timing, but it's got such a small following at the moment.
Is that an IBJJF tournament?
Yeah, it's called the Melbourne International Open. They did it 2 years ago, and they struggled with numbers, and I think this year they've got even less,
Yikes.
which really sucks. And I would have competed, but it's like there's no one for me to even compete with, so I'm not going to spend $150 on money that I'm never going to get back for a division that never happens.
Well, I mean, like, there's absolute though, right? Like, you would have been entered in the absolute, no? Or is there like no one an adult?
No, there's absolute, and there's like the same guy I fought like the last 3 times, and I was just like, not sure if I really want to pay like $150 to fight the same guy that I've beaten like the last 3 or 4 times. So I was hoping there be someone new come in, someone big, which would have been like good. Like the Abu Dhabi trials were in Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and they had some really good competitors in there. And I got back from LA, and I had like 2 days to get over it before I competed the Abu Dhabi trials. And unfortunately, I missed my weight division because of one of my friends. His name's Mita. He's a Brazilian guy that lives in Sydney, and I stayed at his house. And he's like the most unorganized dude you'll ever find. Like when it comes to like driving and stuff, he's had his L's. Like we got like L plates in Australia, which means you can't drive by yourself until you pass the test. And I think he's failed like 6 times, and it's like such a good test. He's like just retarded when it comes to driving. So he told me, oh yeah, it's about 40 minutes away. So we left with about an hour and 10 minutes to spare, and then we looked at like the GPS, like the nav man, and it said an hour to get there. I'm like, fuck. So I'm racing trying to get there. I ended up getting there like 25 minutes after like my division was supposed to start. So I missed my weight division, but luckily they let me do the open weight. And I got into the final and fought Guido Campos, which was awesome. So it was cool to have like someone at his level competing as well, which was fun. But that was good. They had some good competitors like Bruno Alves. There was another kid, William Diaz. He just took double gold at the Asian Open. Bruno Alves has won a lot of competitions. He's a beast. Marcelino Freitas from Nova União, Guido Campos from Matos. There was a lot of really good guys there, so that was good. But yeah, the Melbourne International, I don't know, it just hasn't really kicked off at all.
Okay, you know what? I think we have the last question here, and I think it's somebody who knows you. So I'm gonna throw it out there. They're saying, how did Kit get the nickname Potato Head? And okay, and then it's from someone called Texmo.
Yeah, I know that fucking idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, his name's Aaron Dempsey, and
okay, name jobs.
A real shit truck. He's like the longest serving blue belt you'll ever find. So I'm going to tell you a bit about Aaron Dempsey. He moved over to Australia, and he was a white belt, and like he was complaining for so long that he didn't get his blue belt, and then he finally got his blue belt. And he's been blue belt for like 15 years now. And he has one guard, deep half guard. He's terrible. No, he's a good guy. Was that on Reddit or was that on YouTube?
That was on Reddit.
Yeah. He's like the one guy I know that uses Reddit a lot because a couple of guys have sent me links to it, and I see him post a lot. But no, he's a good guy. He's a good friend. I used to train with him a lot. And so Potato Head was basically given to me by other jealous males that were jealous because obviously I was gifted with unbelievable looks and stuff, like a model face. So they try to call me Mr. Potato Head. So, but yeah, I think that one's gonna die. I've had worse nicknames, don't I?
All right, yeah, I'll leave it on that, Adam. So.
Does anybody have any kind of? We're coming up on the 1 hour mark. Does anybody have any closing questions for Kid at all? No.
I went through everything.
Okay, Kid.
Okay, we have to keep it at an hour, right? We didn't want to keep too long, so.
Yeah. We should probably explain how this podcast works right about now. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, Kid, is there any anything like kind of final thoughts or any sponsors you want to thank, anything like that?
Yeah, I could thank my sponsors, MA1 Martial Arts Gear. I want to thank them for giving me such amazing gears and T-shirts that just make my body feel so good. And also Kapa Puku, the Seed of Life, for feeding me and giving me all the energy I need to succeed. What else have I got? I gotta think of all my sponsors. Shit, I hate when I forget sponsors. It's awkward. We might have to edit this part out. I do have one more.
What about the A on your hat? Is that sponsored or?
Oh no, this is apparently it's the Alabama something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know either. Rami, what is it? You're American.
Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
Apparently, like I was walking in the airport, and apparently they say Roll Tide or something. Yeah. Because like I had this girl next to me, and she's like Roll Tide, and I'm like looking at her thinking she's talking to me, and then I looked at her again, and she's like Roll Tide, and I was like sorry, and she's like your hat, and she's like I went to that university. I'm like oh shit, yeah, sorry, I just brought the hat because it looked good. A couple guys talking.
Speaking of, I was gonna say speaking of hats, if you notice, Adam lately has been really sporting this this hip hop look, and I don't know.
I'm trying to increase my street credibility on that.
No, I was just wondering what's it all about because you got the big baggy sweaters and stuff. And
well, it's actually not quite as romantic as it sounds. I have to work tonight, and I just woke up from a nap, and my hair was messy and I was cold, so I put on a sweater and a hat. And here we are.
Adam's uniform.
Yeah, this is what I work in.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So so we're gonna wrap that up. Kid, thank you very much. That was awesome. And again, good luck in the future. And please keep posting more crazy videos.
Man, I will. Yeah, I think there's 3 videos that should be edited by the end of this week. And I'm going to smash them through. So just remember, when you watch that super awkward one, yeah, I don't know, just prepare. It's going to be super awkward. If you like it,
Just like prepare yourself. Just take a couple deep breaths beforehand.
It wasn't my idea. It was my brother's idea. So yeah, don't think that that's the kind of shit that I write. That's him. But the other ones are mine. But yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy. Not too much, but yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
Yeah, thank you so much, Kit, for coming on. That was awesome. So this is a wrap for episode 20 of Just the Gi Top podcast. Thanks to everybody who tuned in live. To everybody else, we'll have the full episode up on the site within the next couple days. So thanks again, Kit, and have a good night or day.
No, it's taking day. All right, bye-bye.